Yo, what's going on everyone? Bill here, Classic Rock and Metal Review. Time to do a little review for something that came out about a year ago. I was all set to do this review and it just never happened. It just got away from me kind of. And now it's kind of relevant again in light of a next box set from the same band. So we're talking Thin Lizzy, the 1976 box set that came out September of 2024. As I said, never got to it. So maybe it's kind of a good time to do it now. In light of the fact that we have coming up soon a box set that covers 1974 to 75. In fact, that's the name of it, and it will cover the Nightlife album from 74, and as well as spilling into the Fighting from 75. All right, this is where the band's really getting to become the classic lineup that we know. Now, you might not be thinking you need this 74 to 75 box. There's no Blu-ray in it for one thing. It is a little different as far as the setup versus the 76 box set, but I still think you need it. So we're going to go through why, and I'm going to talk about the 76 box to kind of explain why I think you should pre-order 74, 75 like I did. So, first of all, I'm a little parched, probably from that earlier beer. So, how about some more Shape of Hops to Come, the Chamonix Creek, Croydon, Pennsylvania. Hoppy as you can imagine with a name like that. 8.5 ABV. Doesn't disappoint. It's great beer. Loving it. It's the first time they're in 12 ounces. Not sure why they did that. Anyway, let's get to 1976. We'll get to some more talk about 74, 75. The differences with these two sets. They are a little different for a couple of reasons. Sort of beyond the band's control in one case. All right, so 76. Like, why the hell do I even need it? I've got a real good sounding Jailbreak, Vertigo, right? Off Amazon. They're selling Vertigo CDs still, all right? Not just classics. Same with Johnny the Fox. That's the other album represented in that 1976 box set. So both of these box sets, the one forthcoming and this one, cover two albums. I have my outtakes on the deluxe edition, all right? For this guy, remixes and such. Okay, same for Johnny the Fox. Grabbed this thing a couple years ago. I haven't listened to this one in a while as far as the outtakes. Both of the albums I know really well. Live material. Well, we got plenty of stuff from the Johnny the Fox tour on the Live and Dangerous box set, which is also a lot of Bad Reputation tour stuff as well. But you get my point. Also have some bootleg action here. Jailbreak Tour 76. Ford Theater in Detroit, Chicago 76 on that one. You get my point. I had a lot of material already. And I almost didn't order that 1976 box set. And you could see why. However, man, I'm sure you guys have seen an unboxing or two of this, but I'm going to get all into the music with you. I'm not just a shower, unboxing you. I'll run that video in the background while I talk. But this is going to be all about a deep dive into the music of 1976 and why I think it's going to be a good idea to grab this new set too. So I'm kind of a relative newcomer to Lizzy, to be honest with you. Maybe I was about 40 years old, about 15 years ago is when I first picked up Dedication, the very best of. Just out of the blue, give them a shot. Never owned an album from them. Only knew a song or two from the radio. Never looked back, man. They're in my top 5. And man, to stay, as far as I can tell. All right, so for one thing, my name is Bill, guys, and I am an addict. Yeah, hello everyone, nice to meet you. All right, so there's that. I admit, got to have everything in sight that looks cool. But luckily, I pre-ordered this thing because I waited on the pre-order. I kind of jumped in at the last minute. Pre-ordered it about a month before it was about to be released. Could have did that many months earlier. A couple weeks after I pre-ordered it, the pre-order shut down. And in fact, it took Amazon an extra month to get me the box set. So I didn't get it for a month after I was supposed to, but I'm so happy I picked this guy up. And let us count the ways. Very satisfying, kick-ass box set. So what do you get? Nice 9.5-inch square box, nice and thick and sturdy. As you can imagine, as you can see, you're going to pull it out and get a nice hardbound book to go with your listening material. I always love the hardbound book. Charge me more. Don't give me some paper thing in a box like this. And I got away with the $75 price. So I'm not complaining at all. But I'm just saying, charge me $10 more and give me that over a concert program style paper thing. Then of course all the CDs housed in a sort of fold out, reminiscent of the Live and Dangerous style. Okay, there are the CDs. Tri-fold out slipcase style thing. All right, so there you go. So what do you get content-wise? CD1 and CD2, they each have the original mix remastered. They each also have a new 2024 remix. So disc 1 is Jailbreak, 2 versions. Disc 2, Johnny the Fox, 2 versions. Now going in, those 2024 remixes, kind of what I was anticipating the most. And as mentioned, I had no problem with those original CDs, those Vertigo CDs. I thought they sounded good. Never really thought about it. They sound good enough where it was never an issue. To my surprise, I think my favorite aspects of this box set are the remastered original mixes. So the very first thing you hear when you put these CDs on are remasters of the original albums. One critique of all the Vertigo products. Now, maybe a little bit with the regular albums, but definitely with these deluxe editions. They are thin sounding to me. There's kind of just a total lack of bottom end. Even the bass kind of sounds thin, you can hear it, but it's just lacking bassy sound, Now, is it horrible? No, you can hear it, and the drums, percussion sound decent too. Guitars sound great. Overall, those CDs sounded really good. Very good, I would say. But these 2024 remasters, just amazing sound, man. The bottom end issues are completely obliterated. And they're hands down the better versions of Johnny the Fox and Jailbreak are the remastered 2024 versions that you get on that box set. The deluxe editions, like I said, also on the bright side, probably even a little worse. All 6 of those that I have are the same way. They're just kind of bright. Best way to describe it. Live and Dangerous, same damn issue, all right? Everything just kind of sounds thin. The bass guitar sounds like a guitar to me, a bassy guitar. It's kind of how their sound is. It's just the sound I guess I was used to having most of their albums, Live and Dangerous, Super Deluxe, all those deluxe editions. I just thought that was the sound maybe the band kind of went for back in the day, and that's just what you're going to get with Lizzy. Well, man, I kind of thought that all along. I don't know Scott Gorham personally, or I would have called him to let him know. Not thinking there would be much done about it. Well, it's like he's read my mind, because he or whoever else is involved, I didn't write it down, with the remastering on 1976, did a phenomenal job. They sound so good, man. Remasters or remixes anymore can just be sensational, and these are right up there as some of the best that I've heard. As far as those remixes go on CD1 and CD2, that I was looking forward to the most, as I mentioned, they're interesting, they're cool to have, occasional listens, fun listens. They each have some moments, that sound pretty cool. Neither are better than the original mix. You do get some guitar licks that were left off the original mixes. All right, Jailbreak opens with this, "Come out with your hands up," stuff like that. I look at it as like a fun, occasional listen. All right, definitely not better, but as a huge fan, every once in a while you want to hear a little bit different of a version. It's kind of cool for that. Overall, disc 1 and disc 2, though, man, I got to say, great. As far as the sound go on the 2024 remixes, the same. Bottom end restored, or bottom end put in there that wasn't ever really originally there, to be honest with you, in my opinion, from all those versions I have of these things. All right, that's the bottom line and the biggest selling point of the 76 box set. So that's a main reason why I'm suggesting this new box set. I think we're about to get the best versions of those 2 albums, Nightlife and Fighting. All right, so disc 3, you get some Jailbreak outtakes, 70 plus minutes on this. I totally love that you get one version of every song. So one either alternate take or demo version of every song from the original albums in their original running order. It's basically an alternate Jailbreak, and then on disc 4, an alternate Johnny the Fox. Plus, at the end of Jailbreak, 3 songs, 3 extra songs, and 4 songs from the BBC. So these CDs are just packed. Highlights from the alternates of Jailbreak, I would say the first song, the Jailbreak demo, really cool, rough version. Romeo and the Lonely Girl, done on 12-string acoustic, and just a way cool alternate version. You know, I mean, and I love that original. This is a really cool alternate version of it. Warriors instrumental, increased like swirling effects on the guitar licks and added licks, all right, that aren't on the album. So it's just a really cool experience, even without vocals, that Warriors instrumental. Like I said, one alternate from everything is just a really cool way to hear it. I love that. You know, never 2 songs in a row or any of that shit. So it's pretty killer. Plus the 3 outtakes and 4 BBCs at the end, which were from the deluxe edition. Okay, so yeah, there's some spillover. If you have everything like me, you're getting some stuff repeated. But man, it just sounds good. Emerald demo's kind of cool. All right, on the Johnny the Fox alternates and demos CD4, it's another 68 minutes and another where you get one alternate of each song. So it's an alternate version of the album. It's killer. The song Johnny, instrumental, works really good as an instrumental. Okay, riffage that's not on the regular album. Okay, it's Johnny, instrumental, take 2, really good. Don't Believe a Word, alternate number 2. The bass higher up in the mix again, like we were talking about with the regular CDs. Great rockin' version of that song. Johnny the Fox, 4-track demo. It's a bit extended. Not too much more outstanding than the regular album overall, as far as the 10 songs generally go. Got some cool ones on the bonus tracks on this one. Buriano Tango, or Buriani Tango, rockin' 12 bars, pretty cool. Son of Warrior. It's not like Warrior at all, okay? Very sort of Zeppelin, Humble Pie style, like boogie riff. And it's really kind of short, and it's a shame that this song wasn't completed, because man, it's pretty kick-ass. And there's a jam, sounds like a Bad Reputation preview, a song that uses some of Dancing in the Moonlight, but in a different way, and it segs into the rhythm that would become rocky. So there are some cool nuggets on here too, all right? But, you know, again, not the main reason to buy this, but nice sort of bonuses, you know, in a way. So CDs 3 and 4, I'd say some great moments here and there, nice additions and occasional listens for Lizzy diehards. CD 5, live at the Agora Ballroom, Cleveland, Ohio, May 11th of 76. Previously unreleased, not on any of the aforementioned albums, Live and Dangerous box set. So an exclusive here from the Jailbreak tour, the short-lived US Jailbreak tour. Sound very good, nice and raw, very real and bootleg-like sounding to me, which I love it that way, as you know. And I mean that in the best possible way when I say something like that. 5 of the 9 songs from Jailbreak represented here. The bass, again, bassier, really full sound and sounds kick-ass. This slowed version of Romeo and the Lonely Girl. You know how they slowed down Don't Believe a Word sometimes live? I never really dug that version. This Romeo and the Lonely Girl sounds really good slower. It just does. Emerald and Warrior is really good. Excellent drum solo here. This is a really overall great little concert. Minimal audience response from these songs. They announced stuff like Boys Are Back in Town. Just like 3 people clap. That's kind of just really cool to hear. Band still yet to hit it big. On to disc 6, the Blu-ray. Of course, you get multiple options. The 2024 mix in stereo or 5.1 or Dolby Atmos, the original mix in stereo. So let's start with Johnny the Fox. There's a lot of material on this thing. Highlights for me, Borderline. This quieter song just works better in surround sound to me. Don't Believe a Word. Nothing particularly different. The sheer complete filling of the room with the sound on this one really just sounds phenomenal. And I really like Boogie Woogie Dance. The tom drums are just panning around the room, like, you know, it's the ride cymbals are swirling around you. They were the best 3 that I thought on that mix. As far as Old Flame's actually pretty good too. Layers of guitars spread around among the speakers, and same with the backing vocals on Old Flame. So some nuggets in there for sure. And as far as Jailbreak, I would go with the title track. There's a bunch of little small differences. Phil doing some spoken word parts. Running Back has a sax doing the rhythm right at the start, which is kind of cool. Romeo again, Phil doing some self-harmony. You can hear the low part in the back speakers and the high part in the front. That's pretty cool. And Warriors, more Phil additives on that one. It's echoing in the rear. And this sort of angelic thing that they could have tried extending, I think. Real cool clash of this heavenly light angelic backing vocal to this otherwise hard rockin' song. So there's some nuggets on that Blu-ray. That's overall doesn't compare to the regular album remaster for me. That's where it's at. If I haven't already made that clear. So final word, overall, fantastic box set. Despite the crossover of material from Legends, those deluxe editions, as far as the bonus stuff and the outtakes, yeah, it's not all new. All right, but the original pre-order for that thing was like $75, kind of a steal, you know. And I think it's just such value, honestly. It's really two box sets in one. It really easily could have just did separate box sets for Johnny and Jailbreak, I think. So no wonder it's sold out. I think at some point this one will sell out. Guys, you know Thin Lizzy and her history with box sets. They sell out. What are you waiting for? Why do I need to prod your ass? Okay, so let's talk a little bit more about the new upcoming box set. Here's the setup. It's similar, but not completely. Disc 1, Nightlife from 1974. Two versions of that M. A new remaster that I'm really looking forward to, and another new mix. Disc 2 will be Fighting, the original album remastered. Unfortunately, only 4 of the songs they could track down the original master tapes for. So we can't remix the entire record, only remaster it, which is going to be good enough for me. But 4 of the songs will be new mixes on Disc 2 to go along with the original album remastered. Disc 3, Nightlife outtakes. Disc 4, Fighting outtakes. Disc 5, both albums, alternate mixes, demos, etc. So really a whole extra disc of outtakes versus the 76 box. Disc 6, 4 different BBC sessions from 74 to 75. Yes, again, spillover from the other box sets, Legends and such. On Disc 7, so there is still another disc to talk about, Live at Derby College, which was originally released back in 2008 as UK Tour 75. Hopefully that's getting a remaster as well. I didn't read that much. All right, the Blu-ray in this case is just being called Nightlife, I think, because it's mostly Nightlife material because of those 4 songs only from Fighting that are available. So they couldn't turn a 5.1 surround sound mix out of Fighting. But it is kind of cool. It's being sold separately. It is all of the material from Nightlife and the 4 songs from Fighting as sort of your bonus tracks on that separately sold Blu-ray. So guys, man, it's still out there for under $100, 95 or so. I ordered mine directly from the band's website because I read about somebody on Steve Hoppin forum talking about 1976 and saying that he ordered it from 4 different domestic sites and they all eventually canceled his order. So, all right, so don't take your chances. Go right to the website. It was, I don't know, 110 or something. Tax, shipping, everything. All right, but you're in line. You're in the front of the line if you're ordering from Thin Lizzy's official website. I would go for the 74 to 75 box. The remasters, if they're in line with what we got already on 76, are going to be killer. And look at all that other stuff we're getting too. I mean, come on. As I said, we're addicts. We're junkies. We need it all right? This isn't enough. Not enough. All right, guys, I'll catch you all later. I think we're going to be going through that pile of shit over there in the corner of the room coming up. Clean it out. I'm sick of looking at it. Blow it out of here. All right? It's Crazy Eddie used to say. Okay. All right, guys. Catch you later. Peace.